23rd January 2025 in India is celebrated as Parakram Divas. And as we speak of this occasion, Cuttack in Odisha, the birthplace of Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose, becomes the focal point of celebration. Born on January 23, 1897 to Janakinath Bose, a lawyer who moved to Cuttack in the 1880s, the city played a key role in shaping Bose's early years. Known for its rich heritage and intellectual traditions, Odisha deeply influenced the leader who challenged British rule. Let's explore more with historian Anil Dheer's insights.
He was born here, but let me tell you, throughout his life, throughout his speeches, his writings, Netaji has always, his roots to Odisha, he has always highlighted. The influence that Odisha had on him, his birth here, his spiritual journey, and what the inculcation of the spirit for nationhood, the pride of the nation and the freedom struggle, all the seeds were germinated here in Cuttack when he was here. Okay, Netaji, there was no transformation. His goal, his path, his aspirational, this thing all was started from Odisha for the roots, and he has written repeatedly what all he learnt here from his alma mater, his school, his teacher who has named it, his mother, and the society where he lived. He highlighted how when all the Muslim and Hindu festivals in Cuttack, today we call of Cuttack Bhaichara, it was prevalent then also, how they used to go, how his teacher, his principal, how he inculcated into him the very idea of freedom, of the seed of, the idea of the freedom for the struggle for freedom that germinated here. Then his spiritual aspect, he was a mystic of sort. That was because of his mother. Like his father was a very busy lawyer. I don't say that he didn't play an important role because he was a busy royal. He didn't have much in his upbringing. Netaji in one way was a loner. Okay, there's a big family, a lot of child, but he was his mother's favorite. And his Odia connection is something which which doesn't even need discussion, because even when he was in the INA, I remember Lakshmi Panda. Lakshmi Panda was a veteran of the INA. She has told me firsthand, and I have the video clipping also, that when she met, first time she met in Burma, she met Netaji. Netaji asked her, "Where are you from?" She told, "I am from Odisha." Netaji told her, "Movie go to Odia. I am also in Odia." And he had a special face for Odias. Very few people will know that there were more than 4,500 Odias in the INA, out of which quite a few gave up their lives. So this role of the Odias in the INA and Netaji's affinity, or Netaji's, whatever you can say, his love for the Odias is something which has not been highlighted. Netaji, when he was in Calcutta also, he used to go to all the Odia Association meetings. He used to address them in Odia. He was fluent in Odia, reading, writing and speaking. So, there are some aspects. So, this was his Janma Bhumi, and up to some extent this was his Karma Bhumi. The formative years of his life were in Odisha. So I don't even think that needs, that Netaji's connection with Odisha is well established, and well known in both the literary and tradition, and historically also. Most of the things which he did, I think it started all the way from Odisha only.
Bose was last seen in 1945 when he reportedly died in a plane crash in Taiwan on August 18, 1945. According to official accounts, his plane crashed while he was en route to Japan, and he reportedly succumbed to burns from the crash. However, many conspiracy theories have emerged over the years, suggesting that Bose might have survived the crash and went into hiding, possibly in the Soviet Union or elsewhere. Let's hear what historian Anil Dheer has to say on this.
Very frankly, I'll tell you, the whole myth about his disappearance is something which I don't believe, because in my lifetime I have interviewed 175 INA veterans, and out of the 175, they were from the rank and file, and they were the officers also. And most of them had closely worked with Netaji, they had interacted with him. You will be surprised, out of the 175 veterans, 170 did not believe that Netaji disappeared. They say he died. And I'll tell you another thing. Why would he disappear? Why would he go into hiding? Netaji was not a coward. He was ready to face death. When he could go all the way from here to Afghanistan, to Italy, to Germany, to Russia, then back to, this thing, submarine all the way from Madagascar. He went to Singapore. He was not afraid of death. Post independence, there was no reason, absolutely no reason why he should go into hiding. The 4 commission reports on the Taipei crash, somehow they were botched up. And I don't even think this whole story about him having a, sort of tough war with Nehru or with Gandhi and all is absolutely bullshit. He named one of his regiments as the Jawahar regiment. He named one of his regiments as the Gandhi regiment. This is something which post, independent India, this is a creation. They were all working for India's freedom. Both Netaji, both Nehru, both Gandhi, each took different paths. The destination and the goal was common. It was everybody was in the same path. So, pitting one against the other is that was then. This is now. That was the scenario. What happened? This analyzing it in today's context. Had Mota and Netaji been the prime minister, what would have happened? That if my aunt would have mustache, she would have been my uncle. So that is the whole thing. This post thing, his disappearance is not a mystery. There was no reason. I firmly believe that he died in the plane crash, because had Netaji lived, he would have had a very important role to play in the emergent India. We needed people like Netaji. Had Netaji been there today, the current scenario in the country would not have happened. He had a vision for India. He had a roadmap. The secular structure of the country, it would have been more stronger. And he was a leader par excellence. In 1952, the Statesman editorial in Calcutta is a very famous editorial not known of. The editor of the Statesman wrote that if today Subhas Chandra Bose is parachuted and he drops in the Maidan at Calcutta, within 7 days he'll be the Prime Minister of India. That was his popularity. People say, the British would have hung him, and he was in the Siberian prison, he was in China prison, he was with the CIA. All this is bullshit. Okay. Netaji was not a person to hide. When you say that he was in hiding, you are insulting him. He was ready to face death. And he had done nothing wrong. Why should he hide? What was he ashamed of? Was he a criminal? He was fighting for the country. Why should he remain as a Baba somewhere, without disclosing identity? Reason thereof? Nothing. Yeah.
As the sun sets over Cuttack's Barabati fort, the echoes of Jai Hind reminds us of a leader shaped by Cuttack's soil, whose legacy inspires a billion hearts.